We're surrounded by wrestling royalty today. One part of that is certainly Nashville wrestling royalty. When you talk about the Jarrett family, you understand that they have been in this business for nearly a century. Jeff Jarrett is in the WWE Hall of Fame. He is a third-generation wrestling promoter. Most importantly to us, he's our hometown guy. We are extremely proud of Nashville's own Jeff Jarrett. Please welcome him to the podium.
Woo! Oh, thank you for having me. It really is an honor to be here. And as Mike said, 1946, my grandmother, I get emotional every time I tell the story. She started selling wrestling tickets on 4th Avenue. And now, 75 years later, I get the honor and privilege to carry on 3 generations. And the greatest wrestler who's ever put on a pair of wrestling boots is having his last match in my hometown. There's a lot of things I could stand up here and say, but, and I'm a long-winded storyteller, but to have the honor and the privilege to be a part of this event. A couple years ago, my podcast partner, Conrad Thompson, had this idea about StarCast and bringing folks together and have a convention, essentially a Comic-Con for professional wrestling. Fans get their autographs, get photo ops, and then he did these stage shows. And I called him on the phone one day and said, hey, why don't we stream this on Fight? And I'm grateful that I'm a part that brought those two together. And so here we are at StarCast 5. Bret Hart's going to be here talking about an event that happened over 30 years ago. Mick Foley, Kevin Nash, Paige. Literally, it's the who's who of professional wrestling. The Four Horsemen with J.J. Dillon are going to be at a photo op. It's certainly pretty safe to say it's going to be the first time in many, many years and probably the last time for that opportunity. So all the uniqueness out of this event that's going to take place July 29, 30, and 31. And I just cannot continue to think about just right up on the hill where the sports arena was. How many matches that I had as a kid growing up in this business. And now it's in a lot of ways for me because I've taken on a new role, and my wrestling days, for all intents and purposes, are behind me. But to be a part of this event, StarCast 5, Conrad Thompson, the team, the massive team he's put together, I could go on and on and on. Dave Silva, Mike Dawkins, Marcus. I literally could sit up here for quite some time about all the hard work that goes into this, and it is, as David said, for the fans. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be an emotional weekend for a lot of folks. It is going to be a special night. Rick won his, not one, but 2 world titles right here in Nashville. As Mike Keith referenced earlier, Nashville has a lot of things going on. Just right up the hill here that tore down the sports arena, we got a new soccer stadium. So Preds and Titans and soccer and music and CMA Fest and all the different things that are happening in Nashville, we've in a lot of ways become the it city. But July 31st, the entire world, the wrestling world, will have their eyes focused at the Municipal Auditorium. 6:05 is when it kicks off, and I'm just glad in so many ways that I get to be a part of it. Thank you.